I'm Corey Blair.
I'm Justin Ratliff.
And we are the Cinemen.
And in this video we're going to tell you our top 10 films of 2012. I just want to start off by saying that 2012 was a great year for film.
It was kind of rough making this list.
This list was pretty tough.
After I looked at all the movies I'd seen in 2012, coming up with a list wasn't as easy as it sounds.
And before we get into the list, I just want to add that there's a couple movies we still haven't seen yet.
That list contains movies such as Holy Motors, The Master, Skyfall, End of Watch, Cloud Atlas, The Impossible, and Hitchcock.
We've been busy. I haven't had the opportunity to see those movies. Even I want to really bad, especially The Master.
Disclaimer, these are our opinions. This is by no means factual information. I mean, everybody's got different opinions, so this is just our top 10 list.
Yeah, well, we're not saying this is the top 10 best movies of the year, but these are our favorite movies of the year.
Keep that in mind.
Before I get into my list, I have a few honorable mentions, such as Zero Dark 30, Life of Pi, Paranorman, Beasts of the Southern Wild, The Imposter, Lincoln, and Killing Them Softly. And I love every one of these movies. This year was so good. It's hard to put everything into one list of 10.
It was a doozy of a year.
It was. This list took some time.
Honorable mentions coming from myself. I'm going to have to go with Flot, The Imposter, Wreck-It Ralph, Amour, and Haywire.
Yeah, I mean, these are all great movies. To say that these are not in the top 10, that's pretty big.
It's gargantuous, you could say.
I guess it's time to get into this.
Let's get into this.
Number 10. Prometheus is my number 10 movie of the year 2012.
Mine went to Chronicle.
Ridley Scott just blows out of the park. If you like the Alien franchise, then you're going to love Prometheus. Michael Fassbender just blows out of the park. He's phenomenal. Great movie. I highly suggest it.
My number 10 went to Chronicle, which came out at the first of the year, so a lot of people might have forgot about it. I forgot it even came out this year before I saw the list. But when I finally did see the movie, which was later on when it was released on DVD, because I didn't want to watch this movie when I first saw the commercials because I thought it looked absolutely stupid. But could I have been more wrong? The answer is no. Great movie. It was entertaining the whole way throughout. It was a good take on the point of view, shaky cam style, because just all the characters were awesome and there were so many hilarious parts. Chronicle, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. Number 10 on my list for good reason. Entertainment. I think anybody could enjoy the movie.
Definitely. Number 9. My number 9 is Chronicle, just like his number 10.
Deja vu.
Just like he was saying, it was just so unexpected how good it was. I mean, honestly, they could have stretched this out another hour and I would have been totally entertained. Just watching them mess around with their powers. Awesome. Watch it.
Number 9, I went with Moonrise Kingdom. Now, I didn't know what to expect going into this because, this probably wasn't the most popular movie or the most viewed. But just the story of these two kids, these two kids were actually good actors, too. Like, it was just their little love story going on. I enjoyed it. It had Bruce Willis in it, too, so that was pretty cool. I don't know what else to say besides it was a great movie. I think anybody could enjoy this movie as well. Something you should go watch if you haven't already. Number 9... Moonrise Kingdom.
Number 8. My number 8 movie is Wreck-It Ralph, which I'm sure a lot of you went to go see, and it is just fantastic. Just my favorite animated movie of the year, and I really hope it wins Best Animated Picture. It has a great twist for an animated movie. It's crazy. Crazy. Just great movie. Get it. Your kids will love it. And even if you don't have kids, this movie is for all ages.
I mentioned earlier my honorable mention, but it was kind of depressing I couldn't put it in my top 10, but I just couldn't fidget a way to get it in there.
I had to squeeze it in there.
Everything he said, I agree with completely. That was a good choice.
I'm going to wreck it.
My number 8. The Hunger Games. As a fan of the books, now I never read anything ever, and for some reason I decided to start reading these books, read all 3 of them, went to go watch the movie, was not disappointed. Jennifer Lawrence, she killed it in this performance. Get it, bow and arrow, Hunger Games. I thought it was a great movie. Maybe it was just because I like the book so much, I might be a little biased, but still, enjoyable movie.
It's really good. I mean, it's sad that a movie that good doesn't make it into even my honorable mentions. So, I mean, just tells you what 2012 was dealing with.
We were dealing with the big guns. Number 7.
My number 7 is Looper because, I mean, this is just one of the best sci-fi movies to come out in a while. Extremely original, just, I mean, it's fantastic. You got Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis. I mean, they might not have really looked alike, but that doesn't matter here because the story is so fantastic and the effects are so well done. It's so well written and thought out, and it'll blow your mind.
Let me ask you one question. Did it take you
me
for a loop? Oh, he knew where I was coming from. He knew. He saw the joke coming from a mile away. My number 7 is Argo. You saw our review of Argo before, and if you haven't watched it, go watch it. But I'll go ahead and tell you now, I loved Argo. Awesome movie. Ben Affleck is the man, and just everything about it was enjoyable. Good enough for my number 7 on my top 10 of 2012. Argo, watch it. Said that in the last video. I'm going to say it again. Let's go watch it. Argo. Number 6.
My number 6 is Argo. I don't know what else to say. We've done a review on it. He just did it. So just Argo, watch it. Great cast. Argo, watch it. Entertaining. That's all.
Number 6 for me, Silver Linings Playbook. Talked about it in our review video. Haven't watched it? Why don't you go watch that too after this? But I'll go ahead and say Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper. There was some silver linings in those performances because they were amazing. Great movie. Great romantic comedy. Just, I can't say enough good about it. Good enough for my number 6.
Jennifer Lawrence's performance might be lined in gold after the Oscars, if you know what I'm saying. That statue.
My second movie with Jennifer Lawrence in this list, I might have a little bit of a crush on you.
Let's just hope we didn't have House at the End of the Street on the list.
But if that gives me potential, Jennifer, then that was one of my favorite movies too. But all seriousness, number 6, Silver Linings Playbook.
Number 5. I went with Cabin in the Woods because, I mean, come on, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's just so original and just, oh man, is it entertaining. They could have done this movie like 1,000 different ways and I would watch every single one of them if it happened. I cannot say enough good things about Cabin in the Woods. It's one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time. It combines the humor and just dark humor and horror. It just combines everything, blends it all so perfectly. It is a treat. Go watch it.
My number 5, probably another sleeper pick, Safety Not Guaranteed. Now the movie, maybe I enjoyed it so much because my favorite movie of all time is Back to the Future, and we got some time travel going on in both these movies. But the two main people in this movie are just, I love both their characters. I just like the whole storyline of the movie. Just, I don't want to give away like any spoilers or anything like that. I think a lot of people would enjoy it. Safety Not Guaranteed. That's number 5.
Great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's number 5
It's in my honorable mentions.
Yeah, it's number 5 on my list. I loved it. I didn't even know what it was. He told me I should watch it, so we watched it, and I was like, man, that was a good movie. I'm glad I watched that.
Good move by me.
You enjoying this movie should pretty much be guaranteed, if you know what I'm saying. Safety Not Guaranteed, number 5 on my list. Check it out. Number 4.
My number 4 movie of the year 2012 is Silver Linings Playbook, and he's already said it. We said it before in the review. Great movie. Nothing more I can say. It's my number 4. I loved it.
That was an excellent choice, Justin. But my number 4, 7 Psychopaths. I'm going to go ahead and say I think this was the funniest movie of last year. Just, good lord, what a movie. Just everything about it. The cast was awesome. The plot, just everything about it was just completely awesome. And if there's people out there who don't think this movie is funny, then what's wrong with you? That's all I got to say about 7 Psychopaths.
Number 3. My number 3 movie is Moonrise Kingdom, which he's already mentioned it, but obviously I guess I enjoyed it a little more. Oh, it is a beautiful movie. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it and appreciate it for what it is, because it is just fantastic. Wes Anderson knocks it out of the ballpark like always. I love to see children actors do well, and I gotta say, great. Go watch it, Moonrise Kingdom.
Number 3 for me, Steven Spielberg's Lincoln. Now, Lincoln is a movie I've been looking forward to since probably my freshman year in high school.
I can vouch for that.
Abraham Lincoln is my homeboy. I got an Abraham Lincoln bumper sticker on the back of my car.
That's well.
I was just looking forward to this, and once I saw Steven Spielberg's doing it, I'm like, how can this fail? I mean...
And then Daniel Day-Lewis comes along.
Daniel Day-Lewis just...
And you know...
Just, I mean, what else can you say? Who else would play Lincoln but Daniel Day-Lewis? Who would? It was like 2 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours, and it was just completely awesome. Like, looking at it, it's a movie that should bore you, you think. Like, it's like history class. But you got Daniel Day-Lewis, you got all the Tommy Lee Jones, everybody in the movie was awesome. And they made
Sally
it...
Field.
Yeah, they just made it work, and I loved it. No disappointments for me. All the wait was worth it. Abe Lincoln, I miss you, buddy.
It's one of the most interesting men on the planet. One of the most interesting men to ever live.
7 years ago. Number 2.
My number 2 movie is Seven Psychopaths, and I gotta say, it was pretty tight between number 1 and number 2, but this one barely gets pushed back to number 2. And like you said before, the funniest movie all year. The funniest movie I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, it's just absolutely hilarious.
So it just came out on Blu-ray, and we were rewatching it the other day.
I've already watched it 3 times.
Still absolutely hilarious. Had us in stitches.
And Sam Rockwell just, I mean, the guys, I've always been such a big Sam Rockwell fan, and he just always finds his way into my top 5 list every year. I mean, if you watch the movie, you'll understand. I mean, it's just hilarious. This cast is stacked. From Woody Harrelson to Colin Farrell to Christopher Walken. I mean, they're all just phenomenal. It's shot perfectly. It just... everything about this movie just screams yes.
You would have to be a psychopath not to like this. It wouldn't make sense then there'd be 8 psychopaths. That's not the movie.
This movie's funnier than his jokes.
I
promise.
It's not saying much, but it's a hilarious movie.
Great movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you have seen it, go buy it. If you own it, put it in right now and watch it.
If you don't like this movie, maybe we should give you a karate chop
To the face. No shootouts.
My number 2 went to Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained. Big Tarantino fan here, but who isn't? But
I can tell.
yeah, Django Unchained, just, wow, just how do you put on a movie that long and it not just completely bore you? 2 hours, 45 minutes of just epic, just everything about it was awesome. I don't know anything bad about it. I could sit here for 5 minutes and talk about how just I loved everything about it, but who wants to listen to that? All I'm saying, number 2 on my list, Django Unchained, for good reason. My second favorite movie of last year, number 1.
Number 1 movie of the year, for me, Django Unchained.
Now,
Quentin Tarantino, he's already talked about it. He just now talked about it. But just let me say, this is the movie that I was waiting for all year long. This was my Christmas present, and it did not disappoint. Santa came through this year, gave me just even more than I could have asked for. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal movie. It's perfect. I can honestly say, when I was in that theater, that's the best time I've ever had watching a movie. And that's saying a lot. I just thought there was no way I was going to like a movie more than Inglourious Basterds by Quentin. I mean, there was no way. I mean, because I loved that movie. That was my favorite movie of 2009. There was no way anything was going to top it. And then, Christmas Day, went to go watch this. Just blown away. There's nothing bad I can say about this film. Outstanding performances. Leonardo DiCaprio, Christoph Waltz, Jamie Foxx. Just, oh, it's perfect. And that's all I'm going to say. I could rant on and on about how good Django Unchained is, but I'm not going to. It's number 1 movie of the year.
My number 1 may be a bit of a shocker to a lot of people, but I went with The Cabin in the Woods. Now, when I was making this list, Cabin in the Woods came out earlier this year, and it stayed my number 1 throughout the year. And I just could not justify putting anything above it. Because when I went and saw this at the movie theaters, there was just nothing that entertained me more than watching this movie. It was so creative, so original, just everything about it. If you've seen Cabin in the Woods, you know what I'm talking about. It just took horror movies to a whole different level, I think. I can't say enough about how creative, how original, and how it just kept you guessing, like, what is going on with this movie? I could go on forever about it. Cabin in the Woods, that was my number 1 movie of 2012.
2012 was a great year for film, and I just really hope that 2013 can follow in its footsteps.
It's not looking good so far.
January's never good. Ask them what their top 10 list is.
How rude of me. in the comments below, how about you tell us what your top 10 list is, or just your favorite movies of last year. What did you think of our list?
What did you think of our list?
Do you agree with our list? Do you think,
better agree.
Do you think we're completely stupid?
We're not stupid.
Well, just in the comments below, tell us what you think, because we want to know what everybody thinks about, 2012. What a year. We didn't die.
We might make an update video after we watch a few more movies from 2012, because you never know. So be sure to like the video, subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter.
CinemenReviews.com, our new website, everything Cinemen related, right there for your convenience. And my name's Corey Blair.
I'm Justin Ratliff.
And we are the Cinemen.
As we say goodbye to film in 2012.
Let's hope that 2013 is just as awesome.
Let's put that in 3D.